Hey yo guys, how is it going? Tally here, and today I'm going to bring you the 100 Duels Salamangreat Deck Profile. Now, I've had a lot of fun building this deck and testing different things over the course of 100 Duels, so I want to bring it to you guys and let you guys tell me how you think it is and test it out yourself. Now, as always, if you want to support the channel, please make sure to comment hashtag for the algorithm. If you want to join Team Tally, then the subscribe button is on screen. And as always guys, like the video as well, alright? It really does help out a lot. And socials are on screen. Now, let's dive in. Alright, so going through the main deck, first of all we're going to start with our singular Salamangreat Gazelle. Now, Salamangreat Gazelle allows us to dump pretty much any Salamangreat card to the graveyard so that we can recur it later on with Sunlight Wolf. This is by far the card's consistency card, and it's also the deck's main playmaker, so you've got to make sure that you see it as early as you can. As well as other one-offs, we have a singular Spinny and a singular Falco. Spinny's a great extender, you can discard it and then summon it later on from the graveyard, but it does get banished when it leaves the field. Falco, when it's sent to the graveyard, allows you to set a Salamangreat spell or trap to your side of the field, so it comes in handy when you send it on your opponent's turn with Gazelle, and then you can recur a trap card that you've used already to either protect your plays next turn or break your opponent's board next turn. And also we have 2 Jack Jaguar and 2 Foxy. These cards are really great extenders because they require very little commitment. Alright, Jack Jaguar, essentially all you need to do is bounce a Salamangreat back to your deck to special summon it, and then once you special summon it to a zone that Sunlight Wolf points to, you get your Gazelle back. And Foxy not only allows you to excavate the top 3 cards of your deck and grab a Salamangreat card, but it also allows you to extend either on your opponent's turn or the turn you haven't used that effect by discarding a Salamangreat card and special summon itself, and then also popping a continuous spell or trap on the field, which comes in handy with some of the cards we play actually. But we're playing these at 2-ofs because of Pot of Desires. We don't want to banish our 1-ofs. Alrighty. Next, we have Lady Debug, which essentially just gets you to Gazelle a little bit faster. Debug's great because it is a Cyber, so it allows you to go into Balinks, and it's a rota for pretty much any card in your deck. And as well, for our final generic Cybers cards, we have 3 Parallel Exceed, which allows you to either make Link plays, or it allows you to make rank 4 plays, allowing you to beat Nibiru because you can summon Rafflesia on summon number 5, and if they try and Nibiru you, then you just send Gravedigger's Trap Hole to negate the Nibiru and deal your opponent a bit of damage, which could come in handy going into game 3. And finally, for our monster hand traps, we have 3 Nibiru. Alright, we know what Nibiru does. It's a board wipe on your opponent's turn. Punish those synchro decks that don't have negates. And also, we have 3 Ash Blossom because you can recur it with Sunlight Wolf. It's a really generically good hand trap, beats a lot of rogue decks, and as well, you just want to play a lot of hand traps this format. So here's the current monster ones we're playing. You can bump this up just a little bit, but this is what we played for the 100 Duels. Now let's talk about our spells. Okay, next we are going to take a look at our spells. So for our consistency cards, we are playing Free Signet Mining. Alright, this essentially allows us to get pretty much any Cybers card we want from the deck at the cost of discarding a card. This card, again, it's purely for consistency. It does bring a lot of power to the deck that it lost with Mirage Stalio. Of course, that got you any Salamangreat you wanted. This pretty much does the same at the cost of a discard. And because we are looking to accrue as much advantage as possible, we are running 3 Pot of Desires. It's not really questionable. 3 is the number. I have put in the 100 Duels how many times in 100 Duels I actually drew Desires off of Desires. So yeah, that sucks, but that +1 really does help out, and it helps you dig into those unsearchable cards that we are playing in the deck. Now we are playing 2 Will of the Salamangreat, and 1 Salamangreat Circle and 1 Salamangreat Sanctuary. This is a fantastic extender in the sense that it allows you to monster reborn a card, essentially allowing you to play through Nibiru if you're reborning the correct card, and also allows you to OTK on following turns. This is a rota for Salamangreats. It can make a Salamangreat that was summoned using itself as material, unaffected by your opponent's cards, or any cards actually other than itself. And of course, Salamangreat Sanctuary allows you to use monsters as the full material, so like a Heatleo for a Heatleo. And guys, that is our spells. Alright, we're running a pretty tight spell lineup. Pretty much all these spells do is accrue us advantage, so let's move on to the traps. Okay, let's start off with our Salamangreat traps. So we have 2 Roar as our counter trap and 2 Rage as our monster and back row destruction. Essentially, these are the kind of crux of your plays with the deck, so you want to search these out as early as possible. We do run 2 because we're running Desires, and we want to be able to dig into them as early as possible. Rage allows you to discard a Salamangreat and pop a card on field, or target a Salamangreat that was relink summoned using itself as material and then popping up to that card's link rating. And Salamangreat Roar is just your counter trap, it negates things, it's great, slows your opponent down a lot. But again, because this is a resource deck, then you really do want to play these and you want to get little bits of advantage here and there off of your opponent until you can steamroll them with some of the really good extra deck cards that we're using. Alright, and again, both of these cards serve that function. Now, this card can also, or set itself on the field when you relink summon, alright? So of course you can actually get access to both of these turn 1, you know, say you discard this off of, you know, Cyanite Mining, you can get it back with Sunlight Wolf later, and then this can set itself once you have used that Sunlight Wolf as well to link into another Sunlight Wolf, having access to both of these on turn 1. Next we have Free Goes in Match, because this deck is pretty much all fires, all of your good plays involve fires, and you can pop this with Foxy later on. Alright, this is really crucial in the current meta because when you're going first and you see access to this card, it completely slows down the vast majority of decks right now, because not many of them, outside of like Rock, are single attribute. But even in Rock, the best cards that they end their board on aren't Earths, so it stops them from going into those cards specifically. And then as well we have the Singular Gravedigger's Trap Hole for Rafflesia. Some people play this at 2, if you want to play this at 2 that's totally fine. And to round off our traps we have Free Infinite Impermanence. It's not the most budget card in the world. If you do want to play something else, feel free, you can play Effect Veiler. It does the same job, but it's less effective on your turn. Alright, but Infinite Impermanence, solid. It just does good stuff, it negates cards, and again, it allows you to accrue advantage by negating cards and spells and traps in that same column. Alright, so that's our main deck. Let's move on to the extra deck. Okay guys, and moving on to the extra deck, we are starting off with the fairly simple Salamangreat lineup of 3 Balinks, 3 Sunlight Wolf, and 2 Heat Leo. This is your classic Salamangreat lineup, like there's no shifting on this, this is just how it is. Let's get you in frame guys, there we go, beautiful. Alright, this gets you your Sanctuary, which allows you to do a lot of your Salamangreat plays. This allows you to recur monsters and spells and traps. It's your main playmaker, you're going to end on this like 90% of your boards. And of course, this helps you deal with pesky back row decks, spinning back row, not field spells. I learned this the hard way, again allowing you to break boards in conjunction with your traps and your hand traps. This is solid, you do not want to budge on this, like it just, it's so good. And you can recur these with Jack Jaguar as well, because you will tend to go through a lot of these over the course of a really grindy game, but in a short game, then this is exactly like perfect. Okay, now onto our generic Cyberses. We have a Splash Mage, an Update Jammer, a Transcode Talker, and Access Code Talker. Now, let's talk about this a little bit. So Splash Mage essentially is a monster reborn. Any 2 Cyberse goes into this, which then goes into this, which then goes into this. Alright, if you've got extra extenders, you can go Update Jammer, then you can go these 2 into this, or you can go these 2 into this. And this allows the monster that uses it as link material to attack twice. Now, Transcode Talker, another monster reborn, so you go Splash Mage into Transcode Talker, this reborns your Splash Mage, and then you go into Access Code Talker, again allowing you to break boards and OTK, most likely. Okay, if you're not OTKing, then take it easy, do not rush into an OTK that you can't commit to. Now let's talk about Access Code Talker. It's possibly one of the most busted cards in the game. Now the big thing about this is that it's really expensive. Okay, it's an expensive card, and a genuine option that you could take, because we are playing Pot of Desires, is Topologic Zeroboros. Okay, that card's really budget, and it can do a similar thing where it can't break boards the same way, because this can of course destroy cards on field. Then Zeroboros can pump out huge damage. Alright, Zeroboros in conjunction with Update Jammer is serious damage. Alright, if you're using Pot of Desire, Zeroboros is on 5k attack and can attack twice. There's not a lot that isn't attacking over, so you definitely can OTK really easily with this deck as well. Alright, Access Code Talker is the best link for, but if you cannot go into it, that's understandable. It is really expensive, so go into the Zeroboros. And for our Xyz, we have the Baguska, an Abyss Dweller, and Deck Mommy, Trap Tricks, Rafflesia. Now, let's talk about these because they all serve different things and get you out of the glare sun. There we go. So Baguska when it's in defense mode, pretty much floodgates your opponent's main deck monsters because they need to be in defense mode, and any monster in defense mode, well, because it goes on the field, cannot activate its effects. Alright, it's a good blind first turn option. I tend to use it once I have a little bit more information because I like to go into Rafflesia for that safety play off of Exceed, because Nibiru really hurts this deck, so you want to have Nibiru protection, and this gives it. Alright, so they activate Nibiru. This will allow you to activate Gravedigger's Trap Hole from deck, essentially negating the Nibiru and dealing damage to your opponent. And lastly, we have Abyss Dweller, which just negates a lot of stuff in the graveyard. It is still a really good card against a lot of rogue decks, especially things that this deck struggles with, like Dinosaur. Alright, so that is the extra deck, guys. Again, this isn't a very particularly difficult extra deck. Again, like, you want to play these as well. There's not much budging on that because they give the deck a huge explosive boost. And these really can be up for play. I've seen some people not play Abyss Dweller, I've seen some people not play Rafflesia, and I've seen some people play Lingereable, which is a good trap negate. But realistically, I don't want to negate traps that much. I want to negate Nibiru. This is where Deck Mommy comes into play. Alright guys, before we end today's video, I want to talk very quickly about the side deck that I used for the 100 duels. Alright, so it is again a fairly simplistic Salamangreat side deck, but I do want to advise on some changes that I would probably make over time. Alright, so first of all, we have free Phantasme. Again, you want to have as much disruption against link decks as possible. Now, there is an argument for this to be main decked, as the current best 2 decks in the format are heavy link spam decks. Alright, but I like this as a side deck option so that I can main deck a lot of going first anti-Cyberse hate or anti-fire hate, essentially. Alright, then as well, we do have free effect Veiler going into, again, just want to disrupt, going second as much as possible. We can load our deck with loads and loads and loads of hand traps and not really have to worry about not seeing our engine pieces because we have such a high consistency level. And as well, we want to take on some of the back row decks, so we've got free Cosmic Cyclone, but think of it, we don't need a load of back row hate because again we have Foxy that can destroy floodgates, and of course we have Heat Leo, which can also spin back row into the deck. Alright, so we've got a lot of inbuilt back row hate to the engine in the deck. Then as well, for like game 3, we just want to load up again on as much cards that help us succeed and accrue advantage over time. So we have Summon Limit, which stops our opponent. Alright, we combo off, we set Summon Limit, and they have to like just scoop really. We have Imperial Order, which again, there's so many decks, both rogue and meta, which rely on like spell cards that just die to order. And we have Rivalry of the Warlords again, because this deck is primarily Cyberse monsters. You side this in, and then you have, you know, at least 5 floodgates that's anti-Salamangreats, because you have the Rivalry and then you have the Gozen match. Essentially, you can lock yourself into Fire Cyberse monsters, but that doesn't really matter when the majority of your engine is Fire Cyberse monsters. But for opponents, again, think of Adamancipators, think of Eldritch, all of their power plays are from outside their own engine. Alright, Eldritch not so much, they are a back row deck and they have primarily lights, so if you slow down the combo aspect of Eldritch but they still get into their spells and traps, yeah, that sucks, but you're slowing down the combo variants to an extent where they probably can't play through the hate that you have. Again, of course, you just side effectively. This was the side deck that I used for the majority of the 100 duels, but with the current format that we're in, I would advise if you're not willing to use things like Rivalry or Summon Limit, then you can also replace those with going second cards, such as Dark Ruler No More. Alright, I really do feel like I could have won a few more deals if I had Dark Ruler No More in the side deck, but I just didn't know where to put it, so that is one of the big recommendations I have for the side deck. Alright, things like Lightning Storm aren't really necessary again because this deck has a lot of inbuilt monster and back row hate, which is really, really, really good. Alright guys, that's what I have to say about the side deck. Let's take it to the outro. Guys, that is the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, if you like it, give it a like, and if you love it, give it a share and tell everyone you know about Team Tally today. If you want to join Team Tally, hit that subscribe button, and as well, feel free to comment hashtag for the algorithm. Now guys, socials are on screen, and as always, you have been amazing, I have been Tally, I will catch you all later. Bye.